Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Dear Venerable Sangha, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weekly Buddhist news in English on Phật online channel. There are 7 major news of the week. NINH, the 9th ordination SIMA Tâm Hòa, opened in a solemn ceremony. Hà Nam, Sunlight Shines road race at Tam Chuk Pagoda officially challenges runners. Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam Buddhist Research Institute launched the publication of the DİGHA Nikāya and the MAJJHIMA Nikāya. Hanoi, Science exhibition openings, Buddhist spirits and symbols through Vietnam traditional handicraft villages. Nationwide, Buddhists join hand for relief to suffering people in Central region. Most Venerable THICH Bảo Nghiêm with 45 years of pledged ascetic life in HUONG Tích Cave to practice 500 appellations. KIêN Giang, Phật QUANG Chánh Giác Pagoda held ceremony of setting down worship statues of 3 Western Paradise Buddhas. And the following are the news in details. On the morning of the 7th of November 2020, the Great Ordination SIMA of Tâm Hòa 9th Buddhist year 2564, Solar Calendar 2020, organized by the Administrative Council Board of Tây Ninh Province, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, was officially opened at Linh Sơn Phước Trung Pagoda, Bà Đen Mountain, Tây Ninh Province.
Before the opening time, more than 350 monks and nuns gathered solemnly on the ordination grammar of Linh Sơn Phước Trung Pagoda to worship respectfully to the venerable monks of Administrative Council and the 10 members present in December. In witness of the opening ceremony, it was honored to have Most Venerable Thích Thiện Nhân, Chairman of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Administrative Council, Most Venerable Thích Minh Thông, members of the Administration Council, và Head of the Monks Affairs Board of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Monk Ordination Declarers of the Ordination SIMA. Most Venerable Thích Thiện Đức, standing members of the Administrative Council, và Concept Secretaries of the Supervisor Sections. Most Venerable Thích Huệ Thông, Vice General Secretaries of the Chiefs of the Office of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. Most Venerable Thích Niệm Thới, members of the Administration Council, heads of the Tây Ninh Province of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, heads of the Organizing Committees of Ordination SIMA. Most Venerable Thích Huệ Tâm, members of the Administration Council, và heads of the Standing Committees of the Tây Ninh Province of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, standing by heads of the Organizing Committees of the Great Ordination SIMA, and religious dignitaries, monks, nuns, Buddhists, and more than 350 electric novices. The ceremony also welcomed leaders of the government from the central to local levels. Most Venerable Thích Huệ Tâm took the floor for an opening speech and said that the Ordination SIMA received the titles of Dharma Patriot Tâm Hòa, the 6 groups of the 41st generation, the Patriot opening the new horizon for the works of Dharma practice to pledge to life, laying the foundation firmly for the development of Buddhism in Tây Ninh province. The organizer took his title to name the Ordination SIMA in order to remind the monks and the discipline to always possess the clear Buddha mind, making the light of knowledge develop with self-minded to enlightenment. Expressing his early wish to pray for the precept, the representatives of more than 350 novices respectfully offered their vote, respectfully prayed for the 10 directions of the Buddhas, prayed for the baton giving of 3 jewels to bless the venerable monks in witness. All the cleric novices listened to the religious and encouraging words of the Most Venerable Chairman Thích Thiện Nhân, who cited the sutra. The Buddha taught, "We are born in this life with adequate human body of 6 faculties of eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Now that we fade to the thrones of 3 jewels and receive the Dharma precept, that's it because the rivers life they were serving of imminent sufficiency and the Dharma precept, at least for 1 day and 1 night." Thereby, he means to convey the message to the novice monk being fully in human body with 6 senses, being independent from family, enabled to ordinate by the venerable of 10 Master Examiner Council to impart the Dharma precept in the great blessing. The monk novice need constant diligent effort, vigorously spiritual practice in order to pursue the purpose, ideas, and emanations from suffering for their own self-benefit and for sentient beings.
On the morning of the 7th of November 2020, at Tam Chuk Pagoda, Hà Nam Province, the charity fundraising road race Sunlight Shines Half Marathon 2020 officially took place.
In witness, it was honored to have Most Venerable Thích Thanh Nhiêu, Permanent Vice Chairman of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Administrative Council, aboard of Tam Chúc Pagoda, Venerable Thích Đức Thiện, Vice Chairman, General Secretary of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Administrative Council, Venerable Thích Minh Quang, Member of the Administrative Council, Vice Chief Officer of the Office No. 1 of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, subordinate aboard of Tam Chúc Pagoda, head of the organizing committee of the road race with the participation of nearly 1,500 athletes. This is the first road race organized by An Viên TV channel, an affiliate to Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. The event takes place with the purpose of encouraging the movement to exercise, thrive, improve health, and live an active life for monks, nuns, Buddhists, and those who love Buddhism. With a parallel purpose, the race is meant to raise a charity fund for eye examination and treatment for those children in difficult circumstances. It is for the School's Life Care Program 2020-2030. This road race has recorded nearly 1,500 participants. Among them, there were nearly 200 monks from provinces and cities across the country, and especially the past master faces in the national athlete community and famous football players. The runway is divided into 3 passes with the distances of 5 km, 11.5 km, and 23 km to give the athletes, monks and nuns Buddhists a wonderful experience of the majestic scenery of Ha Nam province and the distinguishing gorgeous feature of Tam Chúc Pagoda. The organizer also announced the results of the run and award many subcategories to the athletes participating in the competition. Through this road race, the organizer hopes that the message and meaning of the race will receive enthusiastic support and spread more widely in the community. It is hoped that the Sunshine Illuminating Road Race will be held annually on the anniversary of the founding of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha.
On the afternoon of the 6th of November 2020, at the Vạn Hạnh Monastery, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam Buddhist Research Institute launched 2 first publications, the DİGHA NIKΑYA and the MAJJHIMA NIKAYA, which are belong to Great Tripitaka Buddhism Project. After 2 years of research, the launching ceremony solemnly welcomed Most Venerable Thích Thiện Nhiêu, Chairman of Administrative Council, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, to witness and conduct.
In participation, there were Most Venerable Thích Giác Toàn, Vice Chairman of the Administrative Council, Director of Vietnam Buddhist University, VBU in Ho Chi Minh City. Most Venerable Thích Gia Quang, Vice Chairman of Administrative Council, Head of Central Department of Information and Communications, Director of the Branch of Vietnam Buddhist Academy, VBA in Hanoi City. Venerable Thích Đức Thiện, Vice Chairman, cum Secretary General of Administrative Council, together with dignitaries, scholars, researchers. Venerable Thích Tâm Đức, Standing Vice Rector, delivered opening speech and also shared that the Tripitaka, Buddhism Tripitaka scriptures in Vietnamese language, is the fundamental source for learning and practice, studying Dharma teachings of the word honor. There are detailed comments, explanations from great masters of various times and different cultures as vivid proof, references for the Vietnamese Buddhist followers of present and future. Venerable Thích Minh Thành, Vice Rector, co-editor of the Tripitaka of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, also introduced some important remarks about this new publication, as well as content structure and how the Tripitaka of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha was edited. Most Venerable Thích Nhật Từ, Vice Rector, Editor-in-Chief of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Tripitaka, presented the vision and strategy for the coming printing of all the whole Tripitaka of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. Mrs. Nguyễn Thị Thu, General Director of Toàn Lực Paper Company, shared that the publication will be printed on super light paper originates from Finland. The paper lifespan is up to 100 years, and on the book frame covers of 3 edges will be gilded by Swiss technology. Expressing compassion message, Most Venerable Chairman of Administrative Council expressed that to accomplish such a masterpiece like Tripitaka of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, it strongly needs hearty determination and devoted efforts from entire dignitaries at the Vietnam Buddhist Research Institute and all the members of the editorial board of Tripitaka of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. Most Venerable praised the merits of Most Venerable Rector for having directed members of the institutes to accomplish the masterpiece, which has historic meaning, to inherit and develop the great achievements of the seniors predecessors.
Promoting Buddhist cultural spirits and symbols through handicraft products in traditional Vietnamese craft villages. On the morning of the 10th of November 2020, at Hanoi Old Quarter Cultural Exchange Center, the cultural section of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, in collaboration with Institute for Religious Studies and the Central Vietnam Craft Villages Association, opened a scientific exhibition, Buddhist Spirits and Symbols Through Product of Traditional Craft Villages in Vietnam.
In witness, it was honored to have Most Venerable Thích Thanh Nhiêu, Standing Vice Chairman of the Administrative Council, Venerable Thích Đức Thiện, Vice President and Secretary General of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Venerable Thích Thọ Lạc, Secretary and Member of the Administrative Council, Head of the Central Culture Section, the Most Venerable Thích Hải Ấn, Member of the Administrative Council, Vice Head of Cultural Section, PhD Venerable Thích Minh Nhẫn, Permanent Member of the Administrative Council, Permanent Deputy Editor-in-Chief cum General Secretary of the Buddhist Culture Magazine. Venerable Thích Nhật Từ, Member of the Administrative Council, Permanent Vice Rector of the Vietnam Buddhist University in Ho Chi Minh City. Venerable Thích Phước Nghiêm, Member of the Administrative Council, Vice Head of the Buddhist Guest Section, together with Reverend dignitaries, monks and nuns. Leaders of the central and local authorities were also among the attendants. In the opening speech at the exhibition, Most Venerable Thích Hải Ấn said that the exhibition was organized to integral part of the practical application and promote the Buddhist symbol through traditional craft village products in order to enrich the content. The topic of the seminar itself is a necessary, useful, and meaningful work to do. The exhibition showcases nearly 50 works by a number of artisans from craft villages. There were typical products which carry very meaningful messages. The products introduced in the exhibition are the outcome of the efforts and contributions of many people. The exhibition was organized to compose a scientific basic practice, experienced in reversing and promoting Buddhist culture. At the same time, it is intended to contribute to the orientations of the development of traditional craft villages in the context of our country increasingly integration and internationally cultural exchanges.
Facing the losses and difficulties of the people in Central Region due to successive natural disasters, the Buddhists of the provinces and cities extended their arms to the people of Central Vietnam in the spirit of universal compassion, saving tribulation as a tradition of Buddhism. The intact leaves protect and cover the torn ones for a long time of our nation in order to encourage, relieve, and share the difficulties with people in Central Region, which was heavily damaged by the recent disastrous flood. Hereafter is the information of the charity relief trips.
Buddhist culture sections of Ho Chi Minh study. Crossing over 1,000 kilometers to free peoples of the Central Region, the Buddhist culture sections of Ho Chi Minh study, led by Venerable Thích Trí Dân, member of Administration Council, has a Buddhist culture sections in Ho Chi Minh study, has the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha of District 12 organized 3-day relief trip to the Central Province from November 11 to 13, 2020. On the first day, the team visited and presented 425 gifts worth over 422 million Vietnam đồng to the poor people in communes up to districts of Lệ Thủy and Tuyên Hóa, Quảng Bình province, where the Vân Kiều ethnic people live, accounting for more than 90% of population. In the afternoon, the team moved to Tuyên Hóa commune, Tuyên Hóa district, and gave 630 gifts worth 580,000 Vietnam đồng to people and 30 million Vietnam đồng in cash, an essential item and gift to children at Bắc Sơn Primary School. It was then wrapping up the first days of gift giving with a budget of nearly 1.2 billion Vietnam dong in Quảng Bình. Early on the evening of November 10th, the relief team had visited and made offering to the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in Quảng Bình province at GIAC Pagoda. Social centers of the Bến Tre Provincial Buddhist Sangha. From November 6 to November 11, 2020, the Bến Tre Provincial Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Social Charity Section coordinated with the Vietnam Foreign Front Committees of the province with Buddhist monks led by Venerable Thích Trí Thuận, Vice Secretary, Traps of Secretaries, Head of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha Social Charity Committee of Bến Tre Province, present 2,500 gifts including necessity and cash for people in flood areas of provinces Bình Định, Quảng Nam, Quảng Ngãi, Thừa Thiên Huế, Quảng Trị, and Quảng Bình. Besides, the delegation also provide additional support for 20 pagoda in the epicenter of the storm that were heavily damaged. Each pagoda will grant 10 million Vietnam dong. The total offer fund is more than 1.5 billion Vietnam dong. Bình Phước. From November 5th to November 8, 2020, the administration boards of Bình Long and Trân Thành Town, led by Venerable Thích Trân Chí, the heads of administration boards and heads of the Bình Phước Provincial Buddhist Sangha, heads of the Bình Long Township Buddhist Sangha, who is also leaders of the relief team, together with the pagoda of Tân Minh, Thanh Lâm, Pháp Huyền, presented more than 2,700 gifts to the people in Thừa Thiên Huế, Quảng Trị, Quảng Bình, Quảng Nam, and Quảng Ngãi with values of 1.5 billion Vietnam dong to share relief for the flood-affected people in the central region. Thus, in response to the campaigns of the Central Buddhist Sangha, Bình Phước Province had turned to these people in the central region not only by praying, hoping for good weather, but also practical gifts to people in extreme poverty in the central region. Buddhist Culture magazine granted more than 2,000 gifts to people in central provinces. After giving 400 gifts to people in Nghệ and Hà Tĩnh provinces, the Charities of Buddhist Culture magazine, led by Venerable Thích An Nhiên, members of the editorial boards of Buddhist Culture magazine, in conjunction with the Charity Heart Societies in Ho Chi Minh City, come to the peoples of Thừa Thiên Huế province to continue the journeys of giving love to people of the central region. From November 4 to November 9, 2020, the team gave more than 2,000 gifts to students and people who suffer from the flood. The mission was successfully completed. All members of the charity teams were happy to have come to the plate, being able to hand over the gift, including essential items, to school supplies to the people and students in flood areas. The American sect Bình Thuận Province. From November 1 to November 5, 2020, the charity missions of the American sect Bình Thuận Province, led by Venerable GIÁC Đắc, resident of Ngọc Minh Phirit, and Buddhist monks, went to the relief to hand over 1,200 gifts worth more than 1.2 billion Vietnam dong to flood-submerged people in Quảng Trị and Quảng Bình provinces. At the gift-giving location, the team representative wished the people good health, abide by the local regulations on flood and storm prevention to ensure safely for themselves and everyone. It will also pray to wish people to settle down soon for building a respectful life. In addition, the team also visited and gave gifts to Mr. Nguyễn Khắc Tài, whose wife and baby died in the flood in Thừa Thiên Huế province.
Over the past time, when humanity have been struggling with the COVID-19 pandemic, and when natural storms and floods destroy the central region, a master monk returned to HUONG Tích Cave to lead practices hermit life of ascetic practice with a pledge towards 500 appellations of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, in prayer for the natural disaster and epidemic disease to pass away, so that people could live in peace. On the 8th of November 2020, Most Venerable Thích Bảo Nghiêm, Vice Chairman of the Administrative Council, head of the Dharma Enactment Section of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, has continued to fulfill his aspiration and pledge of the 45-year practice of bowing to 500 appellations in HUONG Tích Cave.
This vow started in 1975 when Buddhist layperson Khánh Tường, the monarch of Nguyễn Thị Thành, a disciple of the elderly patriarch Most Venerable Thích Đức Nhuận, first Dharma master of the Vietnamese Buddhist Sangha, recently returned to Quang Sư Pagoda and had a wish to go to HUONG Tích Cave to bow 500 appellations of I love it as Vara Bodhisattva. the most venerable master read to this and every early spring. The Buddhist pilgrimage together to contemplate, escalate to worship the Bodhisattva of Avalokitesvara. 45 years has passed, irrespective of hard rain or sunshine. The monk has never been absent from this relic. With the apparition of Sandy full faith in Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara, the Venerable passionately sent full energy for the ascetic practice to raise for sentient beings to be well composed, overcome all the tribulations of human life. In particular, the Most Venerable always looks to the people in central Vietnam who are struggling with natural disaster to raise that the Bodhisattva energy from the heart of the Bodhisattva would alleviate all insecurities and bring peace to the people of the central region. According to the Most Venerable himself, many miraculous fulfillments have come to him, escalate the Buddhists, when performing the 500 appellation of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva at Hương Tích Cave. During the past 45 years of practicing, the Most Venerable and accompanying Buddhists have always met favorable conditions on the feast of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, and everything has gone through smoothly. Thanks to the diligent ascetic practice toward the 500 appellations of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, everyone is healthy. In the ascetic ashram of Most Venerable Thích Bảo Nghiêng's performing the 500 appellations of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, there are faithful young Buddhist believers and even the elderly disciples over 80 years old with the pearly white hair like clouds. They are all still do 500 prostrations with radiant expression of joy.
On the morning of the 7th of November 2020, Venerable Thích Tuệ Định, member of Standing Provincial Administrative Department, head of Committee of International Buddhists, Kiên Giang Province, Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, the abbot of Phật Quang Chánh Giác Pagoda, together with Lady Buddhists, solemnly held ceremony of setting down worship statues of 3 Western Paradise Buddhas.
In witness and conducting prayers, there were Most Venerable Yen Dong, member of Standing Administrative Council, head of Provincial Administration, Venerable Thích Minh Nhẫn, member of Standing Administrative Council, Vice Director of Provincial Standing Administrative Department, Venerable Yen Phang, member of Administrative Council, Vice Director of Provincial Administrative Department, Venerable Thích Phước Thắng, Vice Director of Provincial Administrative Department, Venerable Thích Pháp Trí, Head Secretary of Administrative Department, Head of Legal Department, Provincial Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, together with monks, nuns, and laity people from various monasteries. Before the ceremony was conducted, Venerable Thích Minh Nhẫn had visited the lecture hall and conducted the Dharma talks to ashram of Buddhist followers. Venerable lecturer advised the Buddhist followers should be always mindful, strongly believe in 3 jewels, more and more together with monks and nuns to contribute the Dharma propaganda for living benefits, bring Buddhism to everybody. Venerable also praised the merit of the Venerable Abbot and the laity Buddhists of the pagoda for having built a spacious lecture hall and settling down the worship statues of Buddha. At the ceremony, the witnessing dignitaries offer incense praying, chanting to pray in Theravada Buddhism ritual, Mahayana Buddhism rituals, and purification sprinkling ritual at the site of settling down. The set of 3 worship statues of Western Paradise Buddhas, Amitabha Buddha, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, and Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva. Each statue is 2 meters high and solemnly decorated in the lecture hall. As reported, since the time of assignment as the abbot of Phật Quang Chánh Giác Pagoda, Venerable Thích Tuệ Định has tirelessly been trying his best to organize ashram, to guide laity Buddhist followers to learn and practice Dharma teaching and laws of government. At present, Pagoda is in the process of building, completing infrastructure and facilities. The lecture hall was completed and worship statues were set down, a great happiness of the Venerable Abbot and laity Buddhist followers in the region.
Venerable monks and nuns, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, the last news has signed off this weekly newsreel. Thank you for your attention and following. Goodbye and see you in the next program on PSOTV channel. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha.